ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Warriors episode 539. Woo! As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by Viable Human Chris Saturn.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Saturn.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm just fine. We don't have any housekeeping. We're recording a day early, but
Yeah,
no
that
one
is
will
a
know
little
that. It's a secret.
Yeah, because you're certainly not going to say it while we're recording.
Because I'm going to be out at a convention for the next few days, so that'll be...
And that's never stressful for you, so you're in a great mood.
Well, thankfully, I'm on the new medication, and I'm anxious to go, but I feel like it's a normal level of, like, going to a town I've never been in, to a convention I've not been to, kind of anxiety, where it's just like, oh, I'm kind of nervous, I hope it's okay. Not like, I have diarrhea and I think I'm having a heart attack, you know? So that's a change. That's a positive change. That's nice.
Yeah, this time you have diarrhea and think I'm having a heart attack.
So it's one of those things. It's very weird to have it looming like this and not be like really anxious. I did have that thing today where I was like mentally checked out of the day, where I'm like, vacation starts tomorrow. I'm fucked today, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty normal. I think it seems most people have that kind of thing.
That's fair.
My week. I am approaching nearly 60 hours of Battlefield 6.
Holy God.
I didn't realize that.
Have you won all the wars?
I've won some of them.
Oh, good.
I am playing very nearly exclusively online with other human beings, like actual online competitive multiplayer, which I've never done.
Are you okay?
I am, yeah. I've been finding ways to enjoy it. They did introduce a mode that makes half of the teams bots. So sometimes if I get my face kicked in too hard on a regular match, I'll go play a couple half bot matches, and they're a little easier and kind of goof off. But I'm kind of hitting my stride with it. EA continues to completely just fuck shit up, can't fix the UI, doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, takes stuff away, gives the stuff back, increases challenges, decreases challenges, they just don't fucking know what they're doing. It
sounds like EA, yeah.
It seems like two different people. What it feels like is two people used to run the company, and then they got divorced, and now they have to share custody. So every 2 or 3 days, all of the decisions that they're making completely change.
Nice.
It's almost like they didn't fucking plan for anyone to play the game. I don't know what's going on. But I'm hitting my stride with it. Again, I like the Battlefield games. My problem with like shooter games is I like some space and some time and some distance, and Battlefield is real big giant arenas that you play in. They're like gigantic. So you get some time of like running around and doing some stuff before you just get, mowed down by level bajillion people. But as I was playing it, I was playing that and this week's game, which is Katamari, and the thumbsticks on my DualSense were like rubbing my thumbs raw. And it's just that combination of like Katamari, you're just on the sticks nonstop, pushing them in different directions, which, it can be a little tiring on the thumbs. And then Battlefield being like an online competitive thing. And then on top of that, I was getting annoyed in Battlefield because I keep having to take my thumb off of the right joystick to touch buttons to do stuff. And I was like, man, I wish the DualSense had those back paddles that like other controllers have. That would be so nice. And then, lo and behold, I got an ad, or not an ad, but like it was in one of my RSS feeds. It was like, oh, the DualSense Edge is on sale. So I bought the DualSense Edge.
Yeah. How's that?
First of all, you can swap it. It comes with domed sticks, which is what I also use on my fancy Xbox Elite controller. I vastly prefer domed sticks to the ones
domestics.
Shut up. I like the domed sticks. I also it comes with an extra tall one, so I could switch my right stick to an extra tall one for shooters, which has been nice. I like how the sticks go on; they just like snap on and off. They feel a little more secure than the Xbox ones. Only 2 back paddles, which is annoying. But setting up how like all my different profiles was really easy, and then it's got these function buttons so you can switch profiles on the fly, which is really useful. Because I do different layouts for different classes in like Battlefield, or if I'm playing a different game, I'll map. Like when I was playing Dragon Quest, and I mapped confirm to one of the back paddles just so it was easier for grinding or whatever.
Fair.
But it's nice. It's a nice controller. I don't know that it's quite worth the full cost of entry at $199.
Yeah.
But it is nice. I'm currently on the hunt for a good. I put silicone covers on my controllers because I'm very sweaty, and when your hand is sweaty and it rubs on that seam where the two halves of your controller meet, you get like hand gunk down in that little crack there.
That's so
that crevice.
gross.
I know it's nasty, but I can't help it, and I'm sweaty. I'll wash my hands and everything. I think it's just literally the act of 2-3 hours of my hands sweatily rubbing back and forth, you know. And I'm struggling to find one that will also fit my charging cradle that I use for the controller because the battery life is worse on the DualSense Edge.
How?
Markedly worse.
How is that possible?
Not a little worse.
Oh my God. Does it last like 30 minutes?
I played, I don't know. I don't know because I bought a charging cradle that sits next to my couch. So I really
charging cradle.
I don't know, but I've been noticing that it used
Does
to
it
be
use a different charging cradle than the standard DualSense?
No, same charging cradle. So it's the same whatever.
Yeah.
Because I've just got the official whatever the little 2-controller chargy thing is.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
And I was playing today and I didn't play very long, and like my battery wasn't giving me the low battery warning, but when I hit the home button to turn my PlayStation off, I noticed it was like in the bottom third, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I just played Battlefield for like an hour. Like, what is happening?
What's those extra paddles? They use a lot of battery.
I don't know. But yeah, I've been enjoying the DualSense Edge. I do like the fast switching of profiles is really nice because it's got a nice pop-up and you can name them and stuff. Because when I do profiles on other controllers like the 8-bit dos and stuff, they're like, it's like 1, 2, and 3, and I forget which one is which and stuff. And with this, I can name it my PlayStation. So I have one named like Battlefield 6 Sniper, and it's the one I use when I'm using a sniper rifle, and then another one that's like confirm, and so I know it's the confirm button on the paddles, and so that's really convenient. It makes it so I actually use the different profiles. But beyond that, it's just a nice, extra heavy PlayStation 5 controller with noticeably worse battery life.
Part of that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I did also. I feel kind of weird about this. Someone sent me some stuff, and I don't want to say their name on the show because I know people are crazy, and I don't want anyone else to like hit this person up for free stuff. But someone messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want my copy of Kid Dracula on Game Boy?" And I was like, "That's like a $200 Game Boy game. You can get $200. Go sell it, you know." And they're like, "Look, I'm going to take it to Goodwill, or you can have it. Those are your options." And I was like, "Well, don't do that. Don't take it to Goodwill. Obviously, I'll take it, but like
destroy it."
But like it's just free money. And they're like, "I don't want to do all that shit. I like the show. I like what you guys do. I'm just going to send it to you." And
Didn't
they
you
sent
just
me
recently sell my copy of it too?
I think so. Yeah. I wanted to buy it from you, but I was like, I can't justify that much money for Kid Dracula. And they very kindly, and if they would like me to give them a named shout out on the show, I just don't want people like PMing them like, "Hey, you got any free Game Boy shit for me?" Like, I don't want it. So thank you to that person. I've now got the crown jewel of my OG Game Boy collection, which is now Kid Dracula, and it's in fantastic shape. I opened it up and cleaned it and cleaned off all the oxidation and everything, and it's legit, and it's so nice.
It's a fun game.
Very exciting. It is. I played a few minutes of it just to make sure it worked, but I haven't been able to sit down with my Game Boy the last couple days. But it's now on my short list for stuff to sit down and play with. They also sent a copy of Wario Land 2 Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color, not the black one, the gray card one. Yeah, which that one I did not have either. So thank you to that person for those.
Yeah, Kid Dracula is one of the few Game Boy games that I actually have the memory of playing it in the car by the street lights as we were driving by them. That's that's one of those few. So
yeah. What have you been doing, Saturn?
I also have a little bit of controller talk, but it's less positive. So this is I've had for a while the 8-bit Ultimate, which is a great controller. Love it.
Not the new Ultimate, but the previous Ultimate.
The first gen Ultimate. Actually,
I got a couple of those. Yeah.
I think it was a revision of the first gen Ultimate. It was the 2.4 gigahertz one, not the Bluetooth one.
Yeah, I've got a Bluetooth and a 2.4 gigahertz. So they're my two PC controllers.
Yeah, I use it as my PC controller. And it's great. It's a great controller. But I was playing some of Gradius Origins a week or two ago, and the default mapping on that has, I think, the right trigger as the both fire and missile at the same time auto fire button. And you can remap it or whatever, but I happen to have it on right trigger. And I just got tired of holding it. And also, I'm always terrified that my triggers are going to get gummy if I hold them too much. And I was like, this controller has these back paddles that I never use for anything. I should just program that for it.
Sure.
So I was looking it up, and they've got their app for mobile devices that'll let you program it. And so I download the app, and I'm sitting there fighting with it, and it won't register the controller. So I finally look it up, and the app is only for the Ultimate 2. Not for the original Ultimate. I was like, well, how the fuck do you program the Ultimate? And they're like, you have to use the PC app for it.
You do.
And it is a Windows PC app. And I wasn't in Windows at the time. And I was like, well, surely there's some way to do it on Linux. And I'm sitting there fighting, and no, there's not a way. So you have to boot into Windows. So I reboot into Windows, and then Windows wants to update. So I have to let Windows update, and then I reboot into Windows again, and then it wants to update again. So I rebooted into Windows again. And at this point, it's installed an entirely new version of Windows 11 from what it was running previously. And so I then finally get to the Ultimate software, and it's like, well, your firmware is out of date. You have to update that too. And that also requires Windows. They do not have a Linux firmware updater, which fine. I'm already in Windows. Just fucking update it.
It's a separate. I think they do it in the app now, but it used to be a separate,
it's a separate app.
Is it separate? Okay.
Still a separate app. So I download the separate firmware update app. I do its firmware update. And then I program the controller to use the back paddles, and then I reboot into Linux to actually play my fucking game. Just to realize that I programmed it to the wrong paddles. Because when you're looking through their programmer thing, it's like
a little much.
Well, it lets you set every single button, and it's got a list of all the buttons, and the last 6 buttons that you can program are left bumper, right trigger, right paddle, left paddle. And I didn't catch that. I didn't catch the little reversal there. So yeah, then I had to reboot back into Windows. Actually, no, I didn't even reboot back into Windows. I opened up a Windows virtual machine, told it to disassociate the USB device from my host machine, give it to the virtual machine, and then run the program from within the virtual machine. It let me reprogram it, close the virtual machine. Everything was fine.
This is why I never reprogrammed my 8BitDo.
Yeah.
Like I did once to make it so that it was Xbox layout instead of PlayStation layout, and then that was it.
Well, mine was always Xbox layout.
One of mine is, and then the other one wasn't. So I got Xbox buttons for it, and then changed it. But it's just a pain where you're like, I just want to quickly, while I'm playing this game,
right?
Kind of remap some stuff. I don't want to have to go sit down at the computer and then pull up the software. Like, it's cool that they have the software. It's nice. Right. It's very customizable, but it's just kind of tedious when you're like, I just want to change a button in Gradius. I don't want to fucking...
And I could have just used the fucking menu option in Gradius to remap the button, but I didn't have anything set to the paddles, and I was like, well, maybe I want the paddles, so I should go ahead and do that. But that got me looking at the Ultimate 2, just because it has that stupid app. So I would have just been able to program it from the app while I was still in Linux without having to reboot and everything. And so I sat there and spent like half an hour to an hour looking at what the differences are between the two. And I was real close to just pulling the trigger and buying the Ultimate 2 when I stopped and was like, I've had this controller for over a year and I just now thought to program the fucking paddles on it. I'm going to go more than another year before I bother to program the additional shoulder buttons on this thing. What am I doing with my life? I'm just going to use this controller that is literally right in front of me that I enjoy, that works for at least another 6 months before I inevitably buy the Ultimate 2. But until then, I'm just going to enjoy this controller for what it is. It is a nice controller. Anyway, also Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D came out.
Yes, I've played about 4 or 5 hours of DQ1, and then I put it down for other things for now. I'm going to go circle back to it.
Sure. So I have finished Dragon Quest 1 on it and started Dragon Quest 2 on it. I don't want to go super in depth in case we do an episode on this in the future.
Yeah, there's
which
been
we may or may not do
talk of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, it's a good remaster. It feels more like like it feels like enough of an upgrade, like the Resident Evil upgrade felt over the PS1 version of Resident Evil. Like it's a reimagining of the game with new content and redesigned everything that just happens to be themed after the original more than it is a remake of the original. It does have a whole bunch of quality of life improvements that are nice. I think the bosses are tuned poorly. They're a little too difficult. Like eventually I overcame them, but only after retrying over and over and over and over again. Like there were times where I was dying like 10 or 15 times to a boss, and it felt like I only won due to luck. There are some new mechanics that I probably didn't use enough, but they also are not explained well within the game. So that might have been why. I have since learned that there were alternate methods. So there's some new abilities that you gain about the halfway point, and the game tells you can use them when you are under half HP or through some other method that you might be able to find if you experiment. But it never tells you what that other method is. And since then, I've learned from the internet that people have found these other methods, and they're also a little wonky. You're not going to accidentally stumble upon it, I don't think, unless you really are just playing with everything. But my problem is the way that it tells you to use these abilities is to get below half health. And a lot of these bosses in the late game were doing nearly half my damage in one turn.
Yeah.
So I can't just sit under half health or I'm going to die.
Or you die, yeah.
Yeah, so I did not get to play with these new abilities, and I did not play around enough to have figured out the alternate method to use them in Dragon Quest 1. I'm starting Dragon Quest 2 now. I bet it's going to be similar. Based on what those abilities were, I have a feeling that I'm going to encounter them again in Dragon Quest 2, and if it is the same method to use them, then I'll at least know now. My only real gripe is that the story is a little more linear than in the original, with less optional stuff. Whereas for anybody who enjoyed the original version of Dragon Quest 1, it is a very, very simple game.
Yeah.
With very, very simple mechanics. And if you enjoy Dragon Quest 1 for how simple it is, this is not that. This is bringing in 40 years of JRPG design philosophy and cramming it into the shell of Dragon Quest 1. So if you
it really... is, but at the same time, it also in 2025, and again, this is my stuff's preliminary. I'm 5 hours in.
Sure, yeah.
But it also feels like it's like this weird combo meal of like, it's like icy hot, right? It's too hot and too cold, but it's like, it's very modern feeling, but also really simple feeling. And it kind of, it's like, it feels like it can't decide.
Once you hit the halfway point, it decides on the modern feeling.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, it decides.
My assessment so far is I wish they would either go full like Final Fantasy VII remake with it or kind of back off a little bit. Okay, all right. Well, I'm excited then. That'll be fun mid-game twist.
I feel, without spoiling anything, that it is trying to better tie this whole trilogy together. And I'm starting to get some hints in my early hours of Dragon Quest II that it might be wanting to tie this trilogy into the broader series as a whole and give the whole series some sort of cohesion. Aside from thematic cohesion that it's always had.
Right. Yeah, artistic and thematic and musical. Yeah. Which is this something people have been demanding, a coherent Dragon Quest timeline?
I don't think so, but 11 kind of hinted at it, so I think they're just kind of playing with that hint from 11 and just expanding on it. One other gripe that I'll give, which is probably doesn't affect 99% of people who are going to play this, but starting with Dragon Quest VIII and forward, they've reused enemies in the series a lot. Like prior to that, there were some enemies that were reused. There were slimes and drakis and things like that would appear in most every game. But from 8 forward, they really heavily started grabbing old series enemies and reusing them a lot. To the point where now in Dragon Quest XI, it just felt like there was 1 or 2 new enemies and everything else was reused. And in these remakes, they're throwing in enemies from 1, 2, and 3 throughout both games all over the place, which is fine, I guess, but it feels like it takes away some of the identity that those games had.
Yeah.
Because prior to Dragon Quest VIII, each Dragon Quest had its own unique monster set, and that kind of feels like it's thrown out the window here, and that bugs me as an old-time player, but for people who started in 8, they probably won't even notice that this has happened, and it's not a problem. So
Square Enix seems really keen on, like, especially, it's kind of the same deal with the Pixel remasters, where they lose a little bit of their
everything.
Yeah, it's now smushed into this one product, and it's like, no, that, like, what made it so cool was how different it all was.
Yeah, they all had their own identity in some way or another.
I get why you want to do it that way. It's cheaper, it's more efficient, it's faster, and it gives you a better, like, brand to, put on the market.
And it'll let you crank them out faster.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. I don't know. I'm right now. I feel like it sounds like we're being really negative. I've been enjoying DQ1.
I'm really enjoying it.
It's been my sort of like simple comfort food after like a 3-hour session of like Battlefield 6 with Andrew getting blown up in tanks, and then I'm just gonna go like swing a sword at some slimes, and it's simple and fun and easy. And
I did finish the first one at about 20 hours, which is a lot for Dragon Quest 1 these days. But aside from the bosses being difficult, I really enjoyed my whole time with it. I just have those little niggling gripes here and there, but it's still a excellent remaster.
Let's do some news.
Okay.
First up, an officially licensed Mortal Kombat art book uses shitty AI upscaling for photos from the classic games. It's really shitty too.
Yeah, it looks real bad. Like it looks not like that thing where like people AI upscaling.
Yeah, it's not that thing where like, oh, Photoshop experts looked at it and it's like, no, you look at it and you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is going on with Sub-Zero's mask there? That's like growing out of his eyeball. What is this?
Yeah. Halo Campaign Evolved, which is the stupidest name.
It is.
Has been announced. It is coming out on modern platforms, not the Switch. It's coming to PlayStation 5. It is a second remaster of the first Halo game. After the one that was in Master Chief Collection. And there's a lot of question of like, we don't really need this because Master Chief Collection exists, but
but it doesn't exist on PlayStation.
This is true. I think I'm going to buy it on PlayStation just to have Halo on PlayStation because it's so weird to me.
That's fair. That's the same reason that I bought Choo Choo Rocket the day that I got my Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, because it's Sega on Game Boy.
Sega on Nintendo.
It's so weird to me.
Yeah. Right.
Also, I like the first Halo, and it's got like online co-op and stuff. Like, I'm sure I'll play through it, but no multiplayer is weird, and the name is weird, and I'm not sure I'm in love with the look of it. It's very like lens flare, everything's shiny, reflective, in what's the thing? The like vignetting around the outside edge, like motion blur. It's a little too cinematic, I guess.
Engine is Halo Infinite, aren't they?
I don't. It doesn't. It looks different than Infinite, so, but I don't know. We don't have a ton of information at this juncture. But if as long as it's still the first Halo, I'm sure I'll enjoy it because I like the first Halo, and I would like to play co-op. But
at least it's keeping the co-op, even if it's not going to have the
that's true
competitive multiplayer.
Yeah. I did see like, I don't want to call out a specific outlet because I don't remember which one it was, but some outlet was like, Halo multiplayer didn't start until Halo 2, so it's not really that disappointing that they don't include it. I'm like, tell me you weren't there without telling me. Like, no, Halo 1 multiplayer, even before the PC version, was definitely a huge thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got invited to so many Halo parties back when Halo 1 first came out.
Granted, Halo 2 exploded.
Right, because it had online in Halo 2.
But it was definitely a thing.
Yeah.
25 demos and prototypes of the then new 3DS hardware from E3 2010 have been preserved.
Just neat.
Exciting to see them preserving that.
Nintendo didn't preserve it, for the record.
Right, Preservationists preserved it. Edia is bringing the Battle Arena Toshinden trilogy to modern platforms. Saturn, I know you're so excited.
I like the Game Boy Toshinden. That one's really fun, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not in this collection, but when they came out, I really wanted to like Toshinden just so that I could be opposed to Tekken. And then I played them, and I was like, no, I guess I just don't like 3D fighting games in general.
Yeah. Retroid has announced the Pocket G2 and Pocket 6. A couple nice new looking emulation devices coming to the market. I think they're both around either $2 or $250, something like that, if I remember right. And they look nice. And they got buttons and screens, and you can play old games on them.
Oh, weird.
So that's nice to see.
Can you play Doom on them?
I'm sure they play Doom in many
various forms of Doom.
Yeah. Leaked internal Slack messages show EA employees aren't happy that they're being mandated to use AI. Who is?
Yeah.
EA responds that they will maintain, quote, a thoughtful, steady approach to AI while insisting to investors that they're full steam ahead because they're duplicitous liars.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm experiencing this in product form. It's like two different people are running the company and they don't know what the other person's doing. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, we were just talking on the pre-show about companies forcing employees to use AI, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Square Enix announces a new Chrono Trigger orchestral arrangement album.
Oh.
I'm
so glad that you knew exactly when to pause in that. I tried to write that exactly so that you could put that pause in there.
We can't have clickbait. We gotta have something somewhere.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear this anyway. It'll be
cool.
Neat.
Yeah, neat.
But neat. It'd be nicer if they could just release Chrono Trigger on modern platforms aside from PC. That'd be nice.
Yeah. A fan-made mod for Rockstar's Bully adds online multiplayer. I liked Bully when it came out. I feel like that one kind of got.
But
I think it got a remaster or something. I feel like it just. I feel like Rockstar keeps trying to make it a thing, and it's just never really.
Wasn't the remaster on like Xbox 360?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So like 20 years ago.
Shut up, Saturn. Amazon laid off a bunch of people in the Amazon gaming division and has announced the end of life for their MMORPG New World Aeternum. The Amazon gaming division seems to have merged with Amazon Luna, taking the Luna name, which I think will also shortly be shut down because
I have a feeling.
Who the fuck even remembers Luna?
I will tell you who remembers Luna, the Stadia subreddit.
Oh
they
my God.
are all in on Luna because that is their last hope for streaming only gaming.
I don't ever want to be the person that tells anyone how to enjoy something. I mean, I'm not Christopher Nolan. Like, it's not my bag. Enjoy stuff however you want, but like, I wouldn't be upset if streaming only gaming just died on the vine.
Yeah.
Never.
So I got an email from Amazon saying that now Luna Basic is included with all Prime memberships. So I went to go look at it, and Luna Basic is useless. I don't want that. I'm not going to use it. 2, the only library that it shows that I have in it is my own GOG library of games that I purchased. I'm like, well, then why don't I just download them and play them on my computer?
Yeah.
So,
good job.
Yeah.
Ponkel announced a new free Vampire Survivors DLC crossover with Balatro named Antechamber. I've already been playing it. It's very good.
Nice.
Oh, it's fun.
I haven't messed with it yet. I'm looking.
They add in trading cards. So like as you're going around, you'll get a selection of like 3 different trading cards that are trading cards of characters in the game, and they give you different little boosts.
Nice.
And so it's really cute. And you get to play as the little Balatro guy. What's his name?
With Jimbo.
Jimbo. Yeah, you get to play as Jimbo. It's fun. It's cute. It's Vampire Survivors. The new level's cool. It's all just cute and fun, and I'm excited.
The last time that I played Vampire Survivors was at work one night, and I forgot that other people were still in the room with me while I was playing it, and I'm just sitting there in the corner playing Vampire Survivors because it's a slow night, nothing's going on, and one of my coworkers looks up and says, "You having a rave over there?" And I did not realize that the light of Vampire Survivors was blinking off of the wall behind me the whole time. I was like, yeah, I am.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's so good.
Nice.
Balatro and Vampire Survivors might go down as like games of the decade for me. I'm glad to see them crossing
fantastic.
over. GOG has continued to add a lot to the Good Old Games preservation program, including Spore and Tomb Raider 2013, that good old game from forever ago, Saturn.
Yeah, from 2013.
What did you write? A game that came out 2 years after Skyrim, and the same year as GTA 5 is now a good old. You know what? 2013 was a fucking while ago, so.
Yeah, it's 12 years ago.
Maybe the problem isn't that it's a good old game. The problem is that they're still trying to sell us Skyrim and GTA 5 over and over again.
Right. Yep.
Maybe these companies could just fucking innovate instead of doing nothing. I know.
Look,
it's shocking.
Justin, they've only had 12 years. They need more time.
What could they possibly be doing
Right.
other than just investing heavily in AI, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux says his upcoming Masters of Albion will make up for decades of overpromising on things. And we did a whole episode on Peter Molyneux. Go listen to it. If you had told me he would top all of his bullshit lies with one sentence, I would have been like, there's nothing he could possibly say. Literally nothing. What could he possibly say? And he did it.
Yeah, that is a good one. Oh, man. Peter Molyneux never change.
Boy Who Cries Wolf swears he saw the wolf this time. But you know what? In that story, there was a wolf. So maybe, you know what? All the best to Peter Molyneux. Maybe he's right.
Has finally seen the wolf.
Cult classic PS1 import Milano's Odd Job collection is getting an official Western release across all modern platforms this December. I have no fucking idea what this is.
It's kind of a minigame collection, like a proto-WarioWare kind of thing. And the fan translation team who had done the fan translation has been brought on for the official release, which I am a fan of that. I like this idea of fan translators getting their work
getting their dues.
Properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's nice.
And finally, LRG held their non-E3 event months late to coincide with their 10th anniversary.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. No,
oh, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing.
What? Now I want to watch it.
Mm.
I want to go check it out.
I don't.
Stuff they're coming out with collections for Arrow the Acrobat, Choaniki, and Ernest Evans.
Weird.
Physical releases of Onimusha 2 Remaster, Capcom Arcade Stadium, and Xeno Tilt. Emulated re-releases of Little Samson, Sigma Star Saga DX, and Slam City. Oh, and Prize Fighter. These last two are Sega CD games. I did see, God, I saw the dumbest. It was Push Square.
Huh.
It was Push Square. They're in like my RSS feeds or whatever. And it's like, for people that don't know, it's the PlayStation news site, and then there's an Xbox One and the Nintendo, so you subscribe to all of them, and you get all of it. And they had their headline was like 30-year Nintendo exclusive coming to PlayStation, and it was Little Samson. I'm like, you're not fucking wrong, but what are you doing, man? Like, what are you? Other stuff like a new Jay and Silent Bob brawler, Toxic Crusaders, TMNT Tactical Takedown, and also the new AVG and 8-bit game is getting released by them, including an actual NES cartridge, which is cool.
Which they had a video of Angry Video Game Nerd biting his own cartridge.
He really needs to give it up on the hair. His hairline has receded so far that I'm like, man, sad. you gotta give it up. You gotta give it up.
I finally gave up.
So far back. I think, you know what? I think you look very distinguished with your given up haircut. So I think it's doing you a favor.
Yeah, I always told myself that it was if it was clear, I was just gonna start shaving it. And then one time I looked in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's been clear for a while, hasn't it?" And so I decided it was time.
We all think we'll know the second it happens, and we don't.
No, I did absolutely did not. No.
Yeah. Which brings us to our topic at hand.
Yes.
Which is Once Upon a Katamari.
Oh, it's a retro game, right?
Yeah, you can't tell us what's retro. We make the show. It's our show.
True. Yeah. We make the rules.
You know, playing it, I was like, yeah, this counts as retro. Yep. Like, they haven't changed enough. It's just, spoilers for the rest of the episode. It's just Katamari again.
Yeah.
But we were both excited about it. This is a full-sized new Katamari game coming out in 2025 at a budget price.
Good.
And I feel like this is all something to celebrate.
Not as cheap as the original, but inflation has happened.
Inflation accounted for. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And I think we should be celebrating these kind of like AA tier releases that are releasing at normal prices.
Indeed.
It does still have $20 of music-based DLC, which is fucking nonsensical.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why would I pay you $20 for old Katamari songs? I don't.
Did.
Saturn. Bad Saturn. Bad.
I bought the deluxe edition.
Oh,
so it came
no.
with it. Yeah.
Release info developed by Ren Game, who I do not recognize.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Published by Bandai Namco, it came out on Switch, PS5, the Xboxes, and PC via Steam. Worldwide release was 24th of October 2025. Initial thoughts, I was a little nervous. I've not dipped into Katamari as deep as you have. I played the first one through for the show. I've played a little bit of the sequel, and I've kind of played, I think I played the PSP one when it came out for a little bit. I've just kind of dabbled here and there. And my assessment was always like, meh, it was never as good as the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess a better way to phrase it is, it was never more compelling than the original. Mm-hmm. It was always just, it felt like they were bolting on shit that, like, I don't know that I need this to enjoy Katamari, you know? And so I went into this excited to see kind of a AA budget priced game. Yeah. And excited to see something with actual unlockables and cosmetics and stuff that are all in the game. You don't have to pay money for them. There's no cash shop. There's no loot boxes.
Right.
And I kind of bought it on principle, on that of wanting to support that. And I'm glad I did. So that was my how I went into it.
Yeah. I've played all the games in the series at this point. I've played through all but the PS3 one, which I kind of fell off of. Yeah. I would agree with you that each release kind of felt like, what are we doing here? You're not really bringing anything new to the table, and the few things you're trying to bring are not great. So, yeah, I kind of fell off with it. I understand why they took such a long break after the 360 and PS3 games, just because they were kind of meh. Like you, I'm pretty happy to have seen what they did come up with, which we'll get to. But I do want to say that if I didn't know that Katamari was made by Japanese people, I'd think that it were a collection of offensive stereotypes of Japanese culture. And it may still be that.
I could see that. Yeah.
But that's my the first thing that I think of, having played it again, all over again. I'm just like, this feels like it. If this weren't coming from Japan, I'd be very concerned about this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Step us through what development information we have, because it's still a new game. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to the show. We'll see you next week.
Bye. So it was announced in July of this year, July 2025, at the Nintendo Direct. Mm-hmm. But Bandai Namco hasn't really revealed much info about the development or anything at this point. Couldn't find any real interviews or anything. However, I did look up this developer, Rengame.
I recognize them now based on these notes. I'm excited.
Okay, so this is mostly an outsourcing studio. They've worked with Bandai Namco on quite a few things. The Katamari remasters, both Reroll and the We Heart Katamari Reroll. They also did the Klonoa collection. They did some Sword Art Online games. But there are other non-Bandai Namco stuff, mostly licensed stuff, but also a couple of original games called, quote, "Yeah, you want, quote, those games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them." And its sequel, "Yeah, you want, quote, those games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them too."
I see this title around because it goes on sale a lot, and on my I have a deals RSS feed. Yeah, Wario64 will post it, and it just says that. It's the title of it. And I'm like, why is he yelling at everyone to buy these games? And then I'm like, oh, it's the name of the game. And you click on the Blue Sky post, and every comment is like, stop yelling at us. I have no idea what the games are fucking about, but they have the longest titles ever.
Yeah, there's also a new third one. I'm trying to find what the name of it is. But it's basically Those Games Extreme is the name of it. It's the new one is Listen Up. We tried to make, quote, those games, quote, even more extreme. Some things have to be learned the hard way, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
I am curious, but this is straight off Wikipedia. Quote, the series is a parody of mobile game advertisements that often depict fake mini-games that are usually not representative of the actual game once downloaded. So I like, this is a fun premise.
Yeah, I like the premise of it. I don't like the name of it.
Although on Wikipedia, it lists the developer as Monkeycraft.
Because if you go to Rengame's website, they mostly just hype up these games as their
So maybe it was a rename, or maybe they bought it. I don't know. Ren Games. All weird stuff.
Yeah, they have also done some outsourcing stuff for SNK as well. They seem to be mostly an outsourcing and licensed game studio.
Yeah. Let's talk presentation.
Yes.
It's Katamari again. It's in 4K HD, which is nice.
Oh, it does look nice in 4K HD.
Good looking. Widescreen.
I do appreciate they preserved the PS2 art style.
Yeah, they didn't try to make it high poly or anything.
Right.
It's all just derpy.
Yes.
My favorite thing is they keep in the game. Whenever you go up a tier, there will be like a loading screen.
Yeah.
And it's really just there. I'm thinking the behind the scenes, it just kind of resizes some of the items, like the teeny tiny items, because you can only have so many objects that are interactable at a time.
Yeah.
But it still pops up with that same loading screen.
Yeah.
But it's instantly done, like the second it pops up every time.
My guess is they just wanted to keep the flow the same on every platform, and maybe on PCs with mechanical hard drives or on the Switch or something, it might still have a load time there. And they just didn't want to re-optimize it for the other systems.
The new music is great. I love some of the new tracks.
I was going to say the opposite, actually.
Really?
I found most of the new music to be fine, but I didn't find it getting caught in my head like the old soundtracks.
Oh, man, I liked a lot of this new music, but I do want to talk in presentation before we get to gameplay, because presentation is also my biggest complaint with this game. In that it is indeed too traditional in that regard.
Oh?
So, to get into a level, you have to talk to a person, go to a confirm screen, float up into the air, talk to the king for a long time, the king of the cosmos.
Not if you hold the skip button.
Right. Well, you can skip it, but then even when you're skipping,
you
it's
still
still
have to
like
sit through all these transitions.
Talk, skip, confirm, talk, skip,
Yeah.
and then you go into the level and you can skip the level intro, and it's just they kept it all.
Yeah.
And on the PS2, it made sense because like you're hiding load times, you got different shit going on. You got it's stuff's just slower. Yeah. This one, I'm like, I want to fucking roll a Katamari.
Yeah.
Get this shit out of my face.
That's fair.
And some of the levels are only like a minute and a half long, and then after you finish the level, you got to talk to the king again, and then you get an unskippable section of him being like, "Oh, let's put this up in the cosmos," and then doing the animation of it. And sometimes it feels like I spent more time getting in and out of the level than I did playing the level.
That's fair. Yeah, that did become my biggest issue by the end of it, was just sitting through that animation, especially when I was trying to get all the
and your rapid fire,
when I was having to replay the same level over and over again and going through those same motions each time. Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, do I just have like internet Vampire Survivors brain rot where like everything's like flashing screens and 700 miles an hour? Or like, can I not slow down for a minute? And then
just need to have that rave going on over there.
Yeah. After a minute, I was like, no, it's not me. It's the games who are wrong. Like, I wish they had made it a little snappier, a little faster. Yeah. I get that they're trying to preserve the flow of the game.
And maybe give an option to skip that stuff after you've already finished a level or something.
Yeah. It makes me think about like in Animal Crossing, there's a character named Blathers who blathers on, and he works at the museum. Right. And you have to go to the museum all the time to donate stuff to the museum, and he won't shut the fuck up. And Nintendo has come out and said something like, the dialogue is a character in the game too, and it's supposed to take a long time, and that's his thing, is he blathers on, and you're like, yeah, but you're the ones that decided that. Yeah. It's not like you hired a bird to do this that talks too much, and you're like, that's just how he is. You fucking make him that way.
Yeah.
You can make him not that way if you choose to.
Yeah.
So it's that part was, I don't know. I'll say it did get me to
some of those transitions.
Yeah, especially when, like you said, when you're really like repeating certain levels over and over, or just running back and forth doing challenge levels and stuff. It's just a lot of, okay, and I'll go to the thing and then confirm and then skip and then confirm and then skip, and then you're in the level, and then you go to the intro screen and then skip, and then mid-level, here's my loading screen, and then skip again. Like the dialogue's cute and funny, but it's just there's so fucking much of it.
Yeah. I really enjoy the dialogue in these games because it is
really
clever. It's well written. It's well translated. But by about the halfway point of the game, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I get it. I get the joke. It's very cute. I appreciate how cute you are. Please let me get to the game now.
Yeah. Do we want to talk cutscenes now or later?
Honestly, I started skipping the cutscenes at the end too.
Really? I made a point to always watch the cutscenes because I knew that you would shame me if I didn't. And so I watched them all. You have the king and queen of the cosmos. And there's two different kinds of cutscenes. One is the king of the cosmos doing something and the paintbrush cousin painting him in dramatic fashion. And it's always the king doing some kind of dumb stuff, and then he's painted to be more dramatic than it really was.
Be much more heroic or courageous or whatever.
Right. And then the queen of the cosmos is just kind of fumbling her way through the different eras that you visit with all the cousins as they run into bears and shit.
She seems to get into trouble only to be saved by either circumstance or the cousins showing up with the Katamari every time.
It's all cute and they're fun little cutscenes as we're used to from Katamari. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's I watched all of them, and there was only a couple of it. Really, the king ones, I'm like, I don't give a shit about the king.
Right.
The queen ones were the
better ones.
The queen ones were funny, and it was also funny to try to pick out where all the different cousins were in each picture because they'd be hidden in spots.
Yeah.
And so that was fun.
If you unlock all the cousins, it unlocks 2 extra bonus stages, and those stages have the family from the original PS2 game presenting them.
Oh, really?
And that's also kind of a cute little
fun
story thing there.
Like, it's one of these things where, like, if you took all this tedium out, it kind of wouldn't feel like Katamari, but also it's still fucking tedious. It was then and it is now, and I'm torn on how I feel about it.
What I would prefer is if they kept everything that they have as is, but then also had a quick menu that you could optionally go to just start stages and skip all that shit.
Or at least maybe when you repeat a stage, like you just walk up and the second you push the confirm button, you just jump right in or something.
Like give an option for us to sit through the cute fluff if we want to, but let us skip it.
Yeah. I really am okay with just make us sit through it the one time.
Right.
And then when I go back to repeat or get all the crowns or items or cousins or whatever, don't make me sit through it again.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Or it's I mean, again, like you said, you get to skip sections of it, but it's still just it's tedious.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to mention that before we talk about the gameplay, which is the meat and potatoes of a Katamari game. I guess we could split it up. I'll fire through the basic stuff for everybody, and then you can start going through the new things because that's the exciting part. For people that have never played a Katamari.
Yeah.
The King of All Cosmos.
Listen to our previous episode about it.
The King of All Cosmos tasks you, the prince, or a Katamari cousin that you're playing as, to roll up stuff to make a Katamari. A Katamari is a big ball of stuff.
Yeah.
That's stuck together. It's a clump of things.
Yeah.
Standard Katamari controls use both analog sticks in tandem to manipulate the Katamari, kind of like one of those zero-turn lawnmowers. Every time I'm mowing my lawn, I feel like I'm a Katamari. Different stages have different goals, such as reaching a size limit within a time frame, reaching a size as fast as possible, or rolling up a specific quantity of a specific item.
Right.
Performance is rated by the king afterwards based on how far you exceeded your goal, and he's usually shitty about it.
Yeah.
Because the king's
he seems
shitty.
nicer in this one than he has been in the previous game.
That's true. He wasn't like outright mean. It was just kind of like snide. Later
Much more
stages
disappointed than angry.
Yeah. Later stages see you rolling up large enough Katamaris to swallow up the whole world, and new cousins and presents can be found in each stage, which allow you to change or decorate your avatar, which doesn't really do anything. It just looks different and cute. Is fun. So that's the standard Katamari gameplay that has existed virtually in every Katamari.
Right.
In some way or another.
Yeah.
So Saturn, take us into the new stuff that Once Upon a Katamari presents.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to put in here is there is a new control scheme. Which is a simplified control scheme.
Yes, I think, didn't the reroll, I think We Heart Katamari reroll had it. Because I turned it on for my daughter because she was struggling with the sticks. Yeah.
Yeah, if so, I didn't notice because I didn't turn it on. I didn't turn it on in this either.
I turned it on and tried it, but I was too accustomed to the dual stick and I kept messing it up. And I was like, I can't do that.
I accidentally turned it on at one point and it screwed me up. And I was like, what am I doing? Why is everything wrong? And then I went and turned it back off. New stuff. They've added in crowns and king tokens. The crowns, there's 3 of them you can find in each stage. They're basically just an additional challenge. And any previously collected crowns remain collected in future attempts, so that you don't have to get them all in one run. You can keep replaying the stage and get them,
which is nice.
The king tokens are awarded for clearing each stage the first time. And when you replay a stage, they give you a new challenge goal, which seems to always be collect this number of items in this stage.
Yeah.
And completing that challenge gets you another king token. And then the king tokens themselves can be spent at a little capsule machine to unlock customization parts for your avatar.
I like all this. Any incentive to keep me repeating levels in a game like this, where it's sort of fixed levels, but I get to repeat them in different challenges and unlock new stuff, and it's fun. I like that.
Yeah, that's the good kind of replayability there. I like it.
Yeah.
You've got your custom cousins now, which you didn't have in previous games.
Somehow I missed the custom cousins entirely.
Really? They did. It's like part of when you first go to the ship at the very, very beginning of the game. It's like,
oh my God, he talked so much about the ship. He wouldn't shut up. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
When he's showing you the insides of the ship the first time, he's like, go to this machine to make your custom cousin. I thought he forced you over there and made you interact with it.
I don't know, man. I was like, please stop tutorializing me. I want to roll shit up.
Yeah. So I made my custom cousin immediately when he forced me to. And so I tried to name him Goober, and the game told me that's offensive and I can't call my cousin Goober.
Oh, okay. All right.
So then I tried to call him Goobert, and it was like, no, that's offensive. You can't call him Goobert. So I named him Chudley, which I feel is more offensive than Goober.
Uh-huh.
But it was fine with Chudley. So and Chudley rolled around the entire game. I never changed from Chudley. He was my dude the entire game. And
I played as Jungle once I unlocked him.
Yeah, Jungle's pretty good. But he's got nothing on Chudley, I'm just going to tell you. But yeah, so the custom cousin, you basically choose from the body types of any cousin that you've unlocked. But then you can repaint him however you want. But it has to be whatever the paint scheme was of the cousin that you're customizing. So like, if it was a plain color with polka dots, then you can change that color and the color of the polka dots, but you can't like stripe them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you take the base of that cousin that you're doing and then paint it. And then you can also throw different face types that you unlock through the capsule machine.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Then you just put the costume pieces that you collect through the presents in the game.
I was Jungle in a cowboy hat the whole game. That was me.
I was Chudley, who is based on the miniaturized King of All Cosmos cousin, and then just painted him different. I made him all purple and blue, and then gave him a hat.
Yeah. Let's talk power-ups, because these are exciting.
These are exciting. So
go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I don't want to do it. You do it, Saturn.
Okay, fine. All right. So you can find the power-ups in the stages, and then you use them with your right trigger button. So the power-ups, you got the magnet, which picks up items nearby that you are big enough to pick up. It doesn't last very long, but it is crazy powerful. And it was my favorite power-up, and I always hunted it down.
The magnet, I'm going to say this, is the only power-up worth even fucking getting.
Oh, it's the best one, yeah, by a lot.
It's by such a wide margin that I won't pick up the other power-ups, because then if I run into a magnet and I have it in my slot, I have to use it and wait for it to go away before I can then grab the magnet.
So the one that I found the least useful was the rocket.
Some stages the rocket was legitimately useful, but not a lot.
I would mostly just run into shit with the rocket and then get stuck and couldn't move until the rocket wore off, and then I would be able to roll out of it.
I found the stopwatch to be the most useless.
Oh, I use that all the time.
I used it a lot just because it gave me 10 more seconds.
Right.
But I think the whole point is that like for it helps you dodge obstacles and things.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that part.
The whole point of Katamari is that you're supposed to be there dodging obstacles, so the whole game is me dodging obstacles. Right. I'm pretty good at that part.
Yeah. There was one level where it's the level where you're supposed to pick up all the sweets.
Yeah.
And if you pick up something that is sour or salty, it detracts from your sweet score. So you only want to grab sweet things. And there was a couple areas in that level where there was a giant tower of sweet stuff that was surrounded by moving salty stuff. And I would use the stopwatch for that. That was the one time where I found it useful for something other than just giving me extra time. And then there's that other level near the end where you only have 1 minute, and the whole level is just littered with stopwatches. I use that to get a good score there.
Yeah.
But no, the magnet's the best one though. And then there's also the radar, which is only really useful if you're trying to collect all the stuff and you're replaying a stage. It is that's the kind of like I don't really care for collectathons, but if you're gonna throw a collectathon at me, give me a fucking radar that tells me where all the things are. I love that idea.
My problem is the radar is not very good. Yeah, there many times I would use it and not see any of the icons it's trying to point me toward.
Yeah, you have to be close-ish to them.
And at that point, I'm like, what's the fucking point then? Like, if I'm already getting close enough to it.
Oh, it helped me a lot because I get so overwhelmed looking at the stuff on the ground in front of me that I did not notice that cousin was right there in front of me the whole time. So the radar helps me a ton. I really enjoyed the radar, but my problem with the radar is it lasts too long. Because once you activate it, it's on for like 20 seconds or something.
It's for a while, yeah.
And that's time that I can't be picking up a magnet, and that's frustrating to me. So if it lasted a little bit less, or if I had the option to turn it off once I had started it, that'd be great.
Yeah. Let's real quickly touch on Katamari Ball and then do the areas. I played the mandatory amount of Katamari Ball. It requires you to play at least one round.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's just princes and cousins rolling. It's competitive Katamari. You all roll up your balls, and if you're big enough, you can roll someone else up, and then you have to go to a certain section. Whoever has the biggest Katamari wins that round or whatever.
It is fun to pick each other up, though.
Yeah, it's cool. It just...
it wasn't super compelling, but it was okay.
I come to Katamari, like if it had local multiplayer, maybe, but I'm not gonna play this competitively online.
Yeah, me
either. Not gonna do that. Katamari is like my chill out game, you know.
And also it has that Mario Party bullshit where at the end of the game, the king is like, now I'm gonna award a point to whoever got the most pickups in the game, and now I'm gonna reward a point to whoever got rolled up the most. And I'm like, well, now you're just choosing a winner. Just stop.
Yeah. The big thing with Once Upon a Katamari is you're traveling through time.
Yes.
You get to go to different eras. And this was very exciting because it means the visual aesthetic is, I mean, it's still the same graphics, but like aesthetically, you get to do different things. Some of these periods don't really make sense as periods.
Correct. Yeah.
For example, cowboys and pirates existed historically at kind of the same time.
Look,
you know,
you don't have a Katamari time machine, so don't tell them how it works.
Just throwing that out there.
Right. I had that exact same complaint.
First one was Edo, which is just Edo, Japan. It's very traditional Japanese, and it feels very classic Katamari.
It's also kind of your hub world because you constantly have to go back there.
And then you have the American Frontier, which is cowboys, and there's got a fun tumbleweed level where you have to pick up as many tumbleweeds as you can. You turn into an increasingly big tumbleweed.
Yeah.
I liked the aesthetic there. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was neat.
Jurassic Period was cool just because you get to pick up dinosaurs.
Lots of dinosaurs, yeah.
And I like that. Voyage at Sea, I didn't love...
My favorite part about the Jurassic Period is mixed in with all the dinosaurs is a guy in a dinosaur costume.
Yeah, and it's like his face is coming out of the neck of it.
Yeah, and when you pick him up, instead of making like a roar sound like all the other dinosaurs, you just hear a voice in English go, "Dinosaur!" I love it. Love that guy.
I think my favorite was, it might have been Ancient Egypt, because getting to go through pyramids and roll up mummies and shit was just too much fun. Yeah. I really liked that section a lot. Ice Age, I feel, was kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
It was meh. Ancient Greece was cool. I like the one where you have to roll up just philosophers.
Yeah, and then every time you pick one up, it has a quote of that philosopher on the screen.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cute. I enjoyed that one. Present Day was also kind of traditional Katamari feeling. It's kind of bland.
Well, one of the levels in Present Day is literally a recreation of the first level from the first Katamari. So
yeah, which is a cool throwback, but not super compelling.
Yeah.
But each one of these is its own overworld that you get to run around on, which is I just like overworlds. It's fun.
Yeah.
But Voyage at Sea, which is like the pirate section, one, I like those levels. I like specifically the one where you're on the ship and then the second ship shows up halfway through and you get to roll onto that ship. Just because it was really easy to roll up everything.
Well, you know that level has two different paths.
What do you mean?
So if you roll up the octopus at the beginning, then instead of the other ghost ship showing up, the Kraken shows up and pulls that
What?
ship down to the bottom of the ocean, and then you roll around at the bottom of the ocean.
I didn't. The king said something about rolling the octopus up, and I guess I didn't ever roll it up in time before the ship showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I got to go back and do it.
If you don't roll it up, you get the ghost ship shows up, and you have a ghost ship level. And if you do roll up the octopus, the Kraken shows up, and you have a bottom of the ocean level.
Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's neat.
My complaint with the Voyage at Sea area is that a lot of it is ocean, and instead of just letting you swim, you have to do this weird flying animation thing between some of the levels, which is annoying.
It is a carryover from an older Katamari game, wherever you would go over the ocean, he would just fly over it. But also it's annoying. And second, whenever you are using the quick menu to jump to a level, it'll always park you right in front of that level when you select it, except for that level, because it won't park you on the ocean. So it'll park you at the land closest to that level, and you still have to fucking fly over to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The final thing is not really an area, and we didn't even really talk about the story because it's Katamari, so it makes no fucking sense. But the King of Cosmos chucks the Cosmos scroll into the universe, and it sucks up all the stars. So you got to roll up all the shit and then make stars out of it, because that's what stars are made out of.
Yeah,
guys in dinosaur suits and mummies all rolled together in a big ball.
Right. Yep.
So the final area is the Cosmos scroll, where you roll up everything and you plug the hole in the Cosmos scroll with.
Which I feel like they've done that bit before.
It seemed, I don't know. It's again, at the end of the day, you're just rolling up Katamari, so it all feels familiar. But let's talk notable stages, and I'm so glad that you made the correct distinction on what the most notable stage is, which was dig a hole.
Yeah, that was.
I would play a whole
one. It
fucking
felt like,
game of dig a hole.
It felt like Mr. Driller meets Katamari in the best way.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So to paint a picture, the entire ground is made of interlocking hexagons, and you're rolling up the entire layer of the ground.
Yeah.
And you're digging a hole as deep as you can doing that.
Yeah.
And it's so satisfying.
It is incredibly satisfying.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, it's intensely satisfying.
Yes.
And I was so excited. And then I saw it in the notes and I was like, yes, dig a hole. Saturn got it right. And then the second best one, also my favorite one, second favorite one, was Desert Oasis.
Yes.
Where you have to get your Katamari full of water, and then you roll through the sand, and it creates a grassy oasis behind you.
Yeah.
And you have to paint the whole level as an oasis. And I thought it was so fun and cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I like that you make the little leaf staircase to go up to the next area and everything. Just really neat, creative, clever uses of Katamari in both of those levels, because most of the levels in this game are standard Katamari, just with a gimmick.
Sure,
but those two really felt different enough that I was like, oh, this is what new era Katamari is.
Yeah, and those felt genuinely innovative and interesting to the point that I'm pretty disappointed there wasn't more of that.
Yeah, that's basically the only two.
Yeah, you get those two. Pharaoh's requests you have in here, which was an interesting one, where you have to use the radar to roll up specific things that makes the Pharaoh happy.
Yeah, and it changes every minute or so. He'll have a different request. So you're constantly looking for different things based on what he is whining about at that moment.
There was one that felt kind of like Dig a Hole, which was the ice cavern. Where you just it wasn't quite like it, but there's a huge I like the levels where you're rolling up nonstop gargantuan amounts of stuff. It's just so satisfying.
Oh yeah.
And it was one of those. You have Cowbear Pasture in here, and I don't remember that one.
Oh, I hate Cowbear Pasture. So they brought back the Cowbear level from We Heart Katamari, which was the worst level in that game, and it remains the worst level in this game. So the way that it works, it's one of the unlockable levels in Edo era Japan. So there's a war between the cow people and the bear people.
Obviously, yes, we all remember this from history.
Yes, and you have a bunch of bipedal cows and bipedal bears in samurai armor attacking each other.
Okay.
While there is cow and bear paraphernalia all over the stage, and it drops you in the stage at 1 meter and says, roll up a cow or bear. And as soon as you touch either, the level ends, and that's it. That's what you get.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, you're surrounded at the very beginning by a bunch of tiny cow and bear toys. And if you touch one of them, that counts.
Oh, that counts. Yeah.
So you have to carefully avoid all of the tiny cows and bears to roll up other non-cow and bear things to get larger so that you can eventually roll up one of the big cows or bears, which is already an annoying level concept. It was annoying in We Heart Katamari. It's annoying here, but now you also have the crowns and cousins you have to collect.
Yeah.
So you have to avoid these things long enough
while
to
getting
get
those.
to get the things you need to get. And also, one of the cousins to get in that level is Daisy, who is a tiny Katamari cousin who is she's got cow print on her, so she counts as a cow the second you touch her.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. I don't think I played that one.
It sucks.
There are a few others that I'm not super well versed in Katamari, so these may have existed in previous ones. One I really liked was the like Emperor's son or whatever has to fit into his armor, but he's too skinny, so you have to make him fat. So your Katamari is this kid that you're rolling through food and he's eating it.
Yeah, that one they've done in the past, but in the past it was a sumo wrestler who had to get big to
compete.
I
do remember that.
Yeah, so you had to roll up food with him to make him fatter. But it was the same concept, yeah.
It has a couple levels where you have to roll to a certain size, but you have to guess it. It doesn't tell you your current size, so you get to pick when you turn it in.
Did you do the level 2 and level 3 of the food emperor guy?
I did the second one. I don't remember if I did the third one.
Yeah,
but the second one, it was I don't remember what the difference was, but
you just have to get even fatter.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. And like. It's hard to talk about this game because
nonsense.
Well, because Katamari always include. I guess we're kind of getting into final thoughts, but because this Katamari game includes kind of includes all of old Katamari in that nothing is really super changed. It's sort of by just being a good Katamari game, de facto becomes the definitive Katamari game.
Kinda,
in a way.
There are still some things that I prefer about the first two games.
Okay.
But overall, I think that this is... so I grabbed this quote from the IGN review where they said that it was the best the series has been since the PS2 era. I would agree with that. I do think this is the best the series has been since the PS2 era. And it may... Yeah. I don't know that it's the best game, but it's certainly like tied-ish for the best game.
It's up there, yeah.
So there's no reason not to play this one if you're looking to play a Katamari game.
I think for me, again, it's one of those, it can be tedious and annoying, but the satisfying parts are so good. I would have loved to see more Dig a Hole and Desert Oasis style stuff.
Same.
And a little bit less of, there was one that was, they have somewhere, they limit how many items you get to roll. So once you roll up like 50 items, you're done. And you have to roll up like as much the most expensive Katamari, so you have to roll expensive items and stuff like that. Like those are cool. But I would have liked to see more Dig a Hole and Desert Oasis style stages, like really getting weird with it.
Oh yeah.
And I wouldn't have even been upset if those types of stages outnumbered the traditional roll to this size within this time limit. Because they were very satisfying. They felt new. They felt fresh. They felt different. And granted, each stage is really kind of multiple stages because, like you said, you can go back to them with different challenges and stuff. And they're
not
a
all of
little
them
bit different.
Have level 2 and level 3 of them, but
True,
several of them do, and it is worth going back to look to see if, like every one that was as large as possible, if you went back to it, would also have an as fast as possible second level, which was slightly different.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where the Katamari of it all is there, and it's great, and it's fun, and it's not trying to reinvent the wheel.
No,
but it still has some innovation in there.
Though.
Yeah, and I think it's a great Katamari game. Yeah, I had a blast with it.
I do have a couple gripes I want to get out of the way though.
Yeah.
One, as soon as you unlock a new zone, it forces you into it. So even if you were about to replay a level or you just unlocked another level in that zone, it forces you to go to the new area and then you can go back. And that's annoying. My biggest complaint is the unpause button is not the same as the pause button.
What? It isn't?
No. I hate it. You hit start to pause.
Yeah.
But then if you hit start again on the pause screen, it goes to the options menu and tries to change your control to the simplified controls.
Oh.
So you hit start to pause and you have to hit B to unpause. And I hate that. That's not correct. You shouldn't do that in any game ever. Stop it.
I think I just hit B naturally to get out of the pause menu and never noticed.
Yeah.
I have a gripe And this is a thing that they could have fixed. This is a thing that I think this isn't preserving tradition. This is them refusing to fix something that is wrong with Katamari. And this was a complaint that I had, which is that when you're in the stage, the king will talk and his speech bubble covers your character and your Katamari.
Yeah, that's true.
And sometimes you have to push the confirm button to get through his dialogue, but you're eating up time, so you don't want to let go of your 6 to do it. You could have easily put him in a corner. And made it auto scroll.
Yeah, and I mean his text will advance on its own eventually,
but
it takes forever.
Yeah.
Other gripe, I already mentioned the cowbear level, but I'm going to mention it again because god damn it, they brought back the fucking cowbear level. And the last one is whenever a stage has multiple cousins in it, the second cousin literally won't spawn until you've collected the first one and finished that run. So if there's 3 cousins in a stage, which several of them have, you have to collect the first one, finish that run, submit it, go through all those animations, restart the stage, and then the second cousin will be there. And then the third cousin won't be there till you've done that with the second one, completed the stage, submitted it, and then restarted the stage again. That's annoying. Just put them all in there, damn it.
Yeah. Well, let's break down final thoughts like this because again, like Katamari tends to be, this is I don't want to call it a mixed bag because I really like the game, but
I would say overall it's still excellent.
But for people that never played a Katamari on modern platforms, they have Katamari Reroll, We Heart Katamari Reroll, which is the second game, and Once Upon a Katamari all available.
Yeah.
And so if someone came to you and was like, "Yeah, I'm playing my first Katamari, should I just get the new one? Does it have more stuff, or should I stick with one of the old ones?"
I would say probably just start with the new one.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get the
I would say that's
experience
pretty high praise then, for sure.
If you enjoy the new one enough that you want to go back and revisit them, the upgraded versions are the best way to do it. There's still going to be a little bit of a downgrade, though, just because they are 20-year-old games at this point.
Yes, less stuff, less ideas.
Right.
You know, they're just less.
Yeah.
Granted, they're also often on sale for like $9, so you know, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to complain about that.
I think I'm in the same camp. Once Upon a Katamari is really good. And I think people should play it. And I wish the king would shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that would be nice. you for a lot of his stuff, you can hit start and it'll skip it.
Yeah, sometimes.
But then sometimes instead it goes to the pause menu, but it won't unpause it.
I love that we've discovered this thing where I always will hit cancel to back out of menus instead of the button I use to get into the menu.
See, if I pause a game, I want to unpause it with the same button.
No, I always naturally hit B or circle or whatever to back out.
No.
Like unless it's an NES game where that doesn't do anything.
Right. See, I was trained on NES games, so I just assume that if I paused the game, I have to unpause it before I can back out of a menu.
I guess I never thought about it. How odd. Well, you know what else is odd? It's our Patreon, patreon.com/virtualwarriors. You can get Talking Wizards, where we talked about what would happen if Frodo took a shit while wearing the One Ring. Would the shit be invisible or not? Find out the answer to this thrilling question that everyone wants to know so bad.
Doesn't the person become invisible because they're in a different realm?
Yes.
So would the shit be in that realm?
Well, that's a good question, and we discussed it on the show.
Good.
Would the shit be in that realm, or would it just suddenly appear in the regular world? But then what happens if then when you take off the ring and you leave the realm, does the shit stay in the realm, or does it come back out with you? It's not on your body. It's no longer a part of you. We actually don't answer the question at all. So minor spoiler. But Talking Wizards is there. You can get uncut versions of this show where we bitch about AI.
Why does his clothes go to the other realm with him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I feel like that's related to the answer.
It must be. It must be. But then, like, if you go to the other realm and then you strip naked and then you take the ring off, do your clothes stay there, or they go with you, or do they need their own ring?
I feel like that's the same answer as the shit.
What if I hold hands with someone else while I put the ring on?
I don't know.
What happens then? I have so much testing to do.
Right. We're going to have to get one of those One Rings.
Yeah, this is why D&D games are great, because you can take these stupid questions and put them through the ringer and see what happens.
Ringer.
We want to thank our patrons, starting with Ross.
And Ice Climber Enthusiast.
Domingo Carlo Martinez.
Christopher Crook.
Joystick Cowboy.
EMD.
A Marlian.
Carl.
Leo Lobato.
And Dane McMillan.
They all gave us money.
Yay.
And they can listen to us talk about Frodo shitting with the one ring on.
That's true.
So there you go. People of culture who want answers to their burning questions.
I don't know if burning was the descriptor I wanted to use.
Burning
shit talk.
questions, Saturn. Anyway, thank you so much for listening.
Never say burning and shit in the same sentence. Just don't do that.
We'll be back next week. And as always, let us cling together.